13 love, 13 laws, 13 wisdom, 13 respect. This is your creation 13. Learning how to identify telepathic messages, visualizations that just come through the third eye, the pineal gland, your virtual reality headset, right? We all have this built-in virtual reality where we get these visions that just come through, right? They project right in front of you. It's just like a TV. It just comes to you. Like you'll just be doing your normal thing, maybe working or working out, or even just, just browsing or standing outside, and all of a sudden you'll just get this television screen that just pops up, and you're just like, whoa, what is this? What am I looking at here? What am I sensing? What's going on, right? And the reason why I brought this up, I was talking with Christ, and I was like, hey, what should I talk about? And he's like, hey, talk about the vision you had. And I was like, oh yeah. So I was getting off work at night, right? It was about, getting off at about 11:30 at night. And I just really, the atmosphere at nighttime was really, really different. Like it felt peaceful for once. In nighttime, it felt real peaceful. And I got home, and I got out of the truck, and I was just looking around, and all of a sudden I just felt 4 golden light beings surrounding the area. 4 golden light beings surrounding the area. And I was like, wow. I was like, what does this mean? Like 4 golden beings. Is it a sign of protection? Is it protecting the town? Is it protecting the city? Is it protecting us from something else? What is this, right? A sign of, guardian angels protecting us. And it was very, very interesting, right? And throughout my spiritual journey since 2010, I've really deeply studied meditation, doing hours and hours of meditation, learning about visualizations, learning about telepathic communications, information, and just different things that go on beyond the senses of what we're taught, right? Telepathic communication, what does that look like? Imagery, and what does that represent? And I just found that interesting. And I was talking with my son, and I told him, I was like, it really feels like 2012 all over again, right? December 21st already passed, but back in 2012 of December 21st, I just had this weird feeling that there was something happening, a major thing that was happening. And there's a lot of things that surrounded 2012, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like something was happening, a timeline collapsing, something big was going on. So I prayed and talked with Christ for protection and things of that nature, and I just really couldn't sleep that night. And all of a sudden I just saw this golden shield went over me and my wife's bed in the bedroom, and I'm going to say the shield went through the town and things of that nature. Whatever it was, we were in this dome, this golden shield. And above the head of my bed, right, I was looking at the head of my bed, where my feet are, and I saw this really ancient ancestor, right? He was a skeleton, right? So it means he was ancient, but he had purple robe on, and like a purple crown, and he had his hands out like this, just putting a golden shield over the bed, right? And he had another tall ancient ancestor with him as well, and they were just protecting us. I was like, whoa, what is going on here? This is strange. And I just said, hey, thank you. right? This was back in 2012. And I was like, hey, thank you for your protection. And then I just went to deep meditation trying to figure out what this was the next day. And that's what it reminded me of when I went outside Monday. Came home from late at night. These 4 golden light beings flying around, or just their presence was there. And I was like, wow, what is going on? Next day, still feeling that presence, and just a sense of peace, right? Or whether it's a sign of protection, whatever it may be, right? Very beautiful stuff. Let me know if you guys felt that same way, or got that visualization. But that's the key to understanding how our body works. We don't understand it, right? Unless if you pay attention, right? Deep meditation. People go to these meditation classes. They go to, be a monk and things of that nature that takes years and years and years of dedication. And it does, right? I did my own personal hours and hours of meditations for years, from 2010, and just kept going, right? Learning about all this stuff. And then it just becomes second nature. You just like, oh, hey, a mental projection. That's telepathic communication. Something's going on. Ringing of the ears. Someone's contacting me, right? If it's the right side, should be okay. If it's the left side, it can be a warning sign of some kind. So it's just paying attention, trying to get that telepathic communication of like, who's sending this? What's going on? Where's it coming from, right? So that's basically what's going on with me as well. But how a simple technique to just get you into that is through meditation, right? And even prayer, right? Meditation and prayer is the exact same thing, 100%. This is where the divide happens, right? They want to say their own little words. Anybody wants to say their own words to separate, saying that they have the special class, this special class, this special class, this special class. When this stuff is a part of us already. This is what Christ taught us, that everything is within you. Everything you need is within you. You don't need books, you don't need temples, you don't need churches, right? You have everything you need. You got communication. You got the records. You can go to the past. You can go to the present, even the future. But what's the future? Right? Because there's no such thing as time, so everything is just a wall, right? Past, present, future. 5th, 6th, 7th. How deep do these dimensions go, right? Because we're seeing that all the time, right? Talking about interdimensional beings, right? They're coming from different dimensions, traveling through, right? And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the merging of all of these different dimensions merging together. So anyways, get off track there, but it's important to understand that, because that's what you're going to experience when you go through meditation and prayer, is you're going to close your eyes and get in a quiet space. If it's not cold outside, nature is key. It really is. Getting out in nature, getting away from all this electronic frequency stuff, and just getting the information. And it can be a whisper, can be an image, it can even be a full communication where like you're literally talking to someone on a Zoom meeting or on your phone, right? You can have that clear communication, right? It's just identifying it. But if you're not, I will say the word disciplined, if you're not disciplined, then it will be a little chaotic, right? Because whatever is going on in you will emerge out, right? You'll see a presentation. This is why the churches don't understand how this works, because a lot of people could see evil things, right? Or perceived evil things. But it just means that that there's stuff they got to conquer within themselves, right? Christ, what we have in Matthew's is, as close as we're going to get to what Christ was trying to talk about. The story of Christ being in the desert with Satan is kind of a good example of what it's like to go in here, right? To scan yourself, to understand yourself, right? So if a perceived demon entity shows up, well, what is it? You can ask it, but more likely you know already. Like, you know your heart. Your heart's weighed. You judge your own heart. We're supposed to be judging our own hearts, right? The church doesn't teach us this. They say that Christ weighs the heart, but you're still the judge of your heart. You can get things out of your being, cleanse your being, forgive, right? The power of forgiveness, power of release, let go, things of that nature, right? Once you heal your inner demons, then the awesome things happen. But you can do both, right? Because we're always going through trials and tribulations, right? So it's just, when you go through meditation and prayer, have an intent of what you want to experience, right? Hey, I need to talk to a angel. I need to talk to a higher deity, right? I need to have some word of guidance, or just see what happens, right? That's what I do. I scan. I scan everything, right? I scan myself, see where I'm at, scan my environment, and then I go outside and I scan outside, right? Because we have that authority. We do, right? And then scan through if I go into a store or something, right? Scan through. Feel it out. Feel what's going on. Is it good? Is it bad? Is there healing that needs healed? What's taking shape, right? And then just understanding those and becoming more mature with that knowledge and awareness, and practice, right? I'm at the state where it just happens. Like you just know what's going on, how it feels, and when the visual telepathic communication comes up, you're like, oh, where'd that come from? What's going on? What I need to pay attention to. So I mean, it's just simple, just getting into meditation, right? I could sit here for an hour meditating, but it's going to take you to have that will and intent and discipline to practice, right? And people always make the excuses, if I can't turn my mind off, I have too much on my mind. And that right there is a sign that you need a lot of healing, love, and discipline, right? And it just takes one day at a time, right? Finding the right kind of music and things like that, which is definitely another video I can make as well. So anyways, visualization, right? Your virtual reality headset, television that just pops up right here, right? It's important to understand it, identify it, and it happens. Like it happens a lot. You wouldn't even think about it. You'll just have this idea or projection that just pops up. Oh, hey, I had a vision of this golden being all of a sudden. Well, what time was it? I've been paying close attention to that too. What time is it? Like that was around 11:30, right? 11:30, 11:20, somewhere around there. I was like, oh, okay, so this time, 11:30, 11:20, before midnight, right? And that's another story as well. But yeah, so just yeah, just pay attention. Write things down. Write down the time it happened, what you saw, and then revisit it a week later. Right? If you have it written down, you can revisit it and go, hey, let me follow up on this and see what happened as well. So yeah, so I could talk forever. So yeah, I just want to share that with you guys because it's important, especially around this time. There's a lot of interesting things happening if you check out my Global Weekly Report and stuff. So yeah, so there's a lot of good guys out there. Trust me, they're there. They're watching you. They're protecting you. Just give them a holler. Say, hey, yo, I need healing. Hey, I need some protection. Things like that. They'll be there for you. They really will. And then you just go from there. So yeah, so love yourself. Keep shining bright. I'll talk to you all later.